There's this phenomenon amongst carnivore dieters in which they're often very quick to accept anecdotes that may support their diet, such as when somebody adopts a carnivore diet and loses weight, for example, but reject anecdotes that may suggest harm. And this is exemplified by a recent tweet from Dr. Michael Davidson. He shared about a 48-year-old patient who was on a carnivore diet and had LDL cholesterol levels that were about 5 times what's considered ideal, and he developed xanthelasmas, which are yellowy growths in the corner of the eyelids that are due to a buildup of cholesterol. And to put his cholesterol numbers into perspective, they were similar to some people with a genetic condition called familial hypercholesterolemia, in which people can have heart attacks in their 20s and 30s. He also had a high coronary artery calcium score and was put on a statin, as well as changed his diet, bringing his LDL cholesterol levels down, and his xanthelasmas have since been resolving. Now, this is just an anecdote, and we can't say for certain just how much of a role the diet played, since there could be multiple factors, but the point is that if Dr. Davidson had tweeted about a patient on the carnivore diet who resolved some kind of health issue, you'd likely have proponents of the carnivore diet raving about the results and suggesting that it's evidence of benefit. However, the responses to his tweet are a bit different, so I'm going to highlight a couple of them. One person diagnosed the issue as vitamin A toxicity with just a single tweet's worth of information about the case, went on to suggest that you don't need organs to be a carnivore, you should eat bone broth even though they didn't provide any evidence of benefit from that, and they suggested including some starches in the diet even though that comes from plants, so it wouldn't even be a carnivore diet. Another person pointed to Dr. Davidson's use of the word potential, which is exactly the type of cautionary language a scientist would use, and then went on to speculate about mechanisms, or in their opinion, the lack thereof. So there appears to be a big confirmation bias issue in the carnivore community and other diet tribes, to be fair, in which they're quick to accept positive anecdotes but heavily scrutinize the negative anecdotes. And I would argue we should scrutinize anecdotes on both sides because they are amongst the lowest tiers of evidence. Just imagine pointing to smoking centenarians or a researcher who tried the Twinkie diet as evidence of either of those being healthy.